Imagine this. You finally achieve everything you've ever wanted. The perfect job, financial freedom, the house you dreamed of, the respect of everyone around you. You stand there, looking at the life you've spent years chasing, but something feels strangely familiar. The happiness lasts a few hours, maybe a few days. Then your mind quietly asks another question. What comes next? Now imagine the opposite. One small mistake, one embarrassing moment, one failed relationship, one opportunity you didn't take. Years pass, but your mind keeps returning to that single memory, as if it's desperately trying to rewrite a chapter that has already ended. Isn't it strange? Isn't? We spend our lives chasing a future that doesn't exist, while being haunted by a past that no longer exists. And somewhere between those two imaginary worlds, the present quietly slips away. The only moment we can actually live is the one we experience the least. Why? Why does the human mind keep abandoning the present? Why do we spend so much time worrying about tomorrow and regretting yesterday? The answer isn't because you're weak. It isn't because you're an overthinker. And it certainly isn't because something is wrong with your mind. In fact, your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do. The problem is, it evolved for a world that no longer exists, and today, that ancient survival system may be the very thing stealing your peace, the greatest gift, and the greatest curse. Imagine living as one of our earliest human ancestors. Every day was uncertain. Food wasn't guaranteed. Danger could appear without warning. A single mistake could mean death in that world. The individuals who survived weren't always the strongest. They were the ones who remembered danger, the ones who learned from painful experiences, the ones who constantly imagined what could go wrong before it happened. Evolution rewarded those minds, generation after generation. The human brain became a prediction machine, not a happiness machine, a survival machine, and survival required remembering pain far more than pleasure, because forgetting one dangerous mistake could cost your life. But forgetting one beautiful sunset changed nothing. That ancient wiring still lives inside your brain today. Only now, the dangers are different. Instead of worrying about wild animals, you worry about deadlines. Instead of fearing starvation, you fear failure. Instead of avoiding predators, you avoid rejection. The world changed. Your brain didn't. The time traveler. Inside your head, there's something extraordinary about the human mind. It can travel through time without moving an inch. Right now, you can remember your first day at school, your happiest birthday, your biggest disappointment. You can also imagine tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now. No other known species does this the way humans do. This ability built civilizations. I allowed us to invent agriculture, plan cities, send spacecraft into space. But it also created something else. Regret, anxiety, why overthinking? Because every superpower with a hidden cost. The same imagination that allows you to build your future also allows you to fear it. The same memory that helps you learn can trap you inside yesterday forever. Your brain doesn't want you happy. This might sound shocking, but happiness isn't your brain's highest priority. Safety is. Imagine two people walking through a forest. One notices every beautiful flower. The other notices every possible threat. Which one is more likely to survive? Evolution had an answer. The second one, that's why your brain constantly scans for problems. It notices criticism faster than compliments, failure faster than success, risk faster than opportunity. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect it. Unfortunately, the modern world rarely requires that level of constant vigilance. But your brain never received the update, so it keeps searching for danger, even when you're perfectly safe. The illusion of tomorrow. Think about the last time you worried. Maybe it was about money, your career, your health, or someone you love. Now ask yourself, how many of those exact fears actually came true? Most people are surprised by the answer. Very few. Psychologists have long observed that the majority of our imagined catastrophes never happen. Yet our brains keep creating them. Why? Because from your brain's perspective, imagining danger is cheaper than being surprised by it. It would rather create 10 false alarms than miss one real threat. That's a brilliant survival strategy, but a terrible way to find peace. The weight of yesterday. Now let's turn around and look behind us, the past. Have you ever replayed a conversation over and over, thinking, I should have said something different? Or remembered an old mistake and felt your heart sink even years later? That feeling is regret, and regret is your brain's way of saying, next time, don't make the same mistake. In small amounts, regret helps us grow, but when it becomes endless, it stops being a teacher and becomes a prison. You can't rewrite yesterday. No amount of thinking will change it, yet your brain keeps trying. Wonga, because it mistakes replaying the memory for solving the problem. A life that never arrives. Here's the tragedy. Most people spend their entire lives waiting. I'll be happy when I get the job, when I find the right person, when I make enough money, when things finally calm down. But life doesn't happen in when, it happens in now. The future eventually becomes the present, and when it does, your brain simply creates another future to chase. It's like running toward the horizon. No matter how far you walk, it always stays ahead. Transition. So if your brain is designed to predict danger, to replay mistakes, and to constantly pull you away from the present, is peace even possible? Can you ever escape the endless cycle of what if? And if only, the answer is yes. But first, you need to understand the invisible system inside your mind that's secretly controlling every worry, every regret, and every sleepless night. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. Why do we worry about the future and regret the past? Imagine holding 2 photographs in your hands. The first is one of the happiest days of your life. The second captures one of your biggest failures. Now ask yourself, which memory feels heavier? Which one returns to your mind more often? For most people, the painful one. Not because it was more important, because your brain treats pain as valuable information thousands of years ago. Forgetting where you found delicious fruit wasn't a disaster, but forgetting where a predator attacked, that could cost your life. So evolution quietly programmed your brain with one simple rule. Remember what hurts. That ancient rule still shapes your life today. It explains why one criticism can erase 10 compliments, why one failure can overshadow years of success, and why your mind keeps replaying painful memories long after everyone else has forgotten them. Your brain is constantly predicting. Most people believe the brain simply reacts to the world, but neuroscience tells a different story. Your brain is always predicting what's about to happen. Before you open a door, your brain predicts what's behind it. Before someone finishes speaking, your brain predicts what they'll say. Before an interview, it predicts success or failure. This prediction system helps you move through life quickly, but it has a dark side. When you're anxious, your brain starts predicting danger everywhere. A delayed text becomes rejection. A small mistake becomes disaster. One uncertain future becomes hundreds of imaginary problems. The strange thing is, your body reacts as if those imagined events are already real. Your heart races, your muscles tighten, stress hormones begin to flow. Not because something happened, because your brain believed it might. Why worry feels useful? Here's the trap almost everyone falls into. Worry feels productive. When you're worrying, it feels like you're solving something. You tell yourself, if I think about it long enough, I'll find the perfect solution. But that's rarely what happens. Imagine sitting in a rocking chair. You're moving constantly. You're using energy, but you're not going anywhere. That's what worry is. Movement without progress. Your brain mistakes mental activity for preparation, but thinking isn't always the same as solving. Sometimes, the solution comes only after you stop thinking for a while. Addiction to what if. Have you noticed how your mind loves two words? What if? What if I fail? What if they leave me? What if I embarrass myself? What if something goes wrong? These questions seem harmless, but they have incredible power. Every what if creates a movie inside your mind, and your brain doesn't clearly distinguish between vividly imagined danger and real danger. That's why fictional fears create real emotions. Your body prepares for battles that never happen. And the more often you rehearse those imaginary disasters, the stronger those mental pathways become. This is one reason anxiety can feel addictive, not because people enjoy it, but because the brain becomes accustomed to scanning for threats. It starts believing that's its job. The echo of regretto. Let's look backward. Imagine you're reading your life like a book. Most chapters are peaceful, some are joyful, but one chapter contains a painful mistake. Guess which chapter your brain keeps reopening? The painful one? Why? Because your mind believes unfinished emotional experiences must be reviewed. It keeps asking, what could I have done differently? Sometimes this reflection helps you grow, but often the lesson has already been learned, only the pain remains, yet your brain keeps replaying the scene as if one more review will somehow change the ending. It never does. The negativity bias call this the negativity bias. Simply put, negative experiences leave a deeper imprint than positive ones. Imagine dropping one drop of black ink into a glass of clear water. The entire glass changes. Now imagine adding one drop of clear water into black ink. Nothing changes. Your mind works in a similar way. One harsh comment can outweigh 20 compliments. One embarrassing moment can overshadow years of confidence. Not because you're broken, because your ancestors survived by paying close attention to danger. Your brain inherited that survival strategy. Their minds don't. You can train your mind. One of the most hopeful discoveries in neuroscience is something called neuroplasticity. Your brain is not fixed. It changes throughout your life. Every repeated thought strengthens a neural pathway. Every habit shapes the brain. Every new perspective creates new connections. This means you're not trapped inside the way you think today. Every time you catch yourself overthinking and gently return your attention to the present, you're training your brain. Every time you replace self-criticism with curiosity, you're training your brain. Every time you accept uncertainty instead of fighting it, you're training your brain. Real change doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens through thousands of tiny decisions, repeated consistently. The forest story. Imagine two people walking through the same forest. The first spends the entire journey staring behind him. He's terrified of getting lost again. He never notices the beautiful path ahead. The second spends the journey staring only into the distance. He's so worried about reaching the destination that he misses every flower, every sunrise, every sound of birds along the way. Both travelers make the same mistake. Neither one truly experiences the journey. Is that forest? The past is behind you, the future is ahead of you, but the only place your feet can actually touch. The ground beneath you, the final truth. So, why do we worry about the future and regret the past? Because our brains were built to survive, not to sit peacefully in the present. They replay painful memories so we can avoid repeating them. They imagine dangerous futures so we can prepare for them. Those systems once kept our ancestors alive. But today, if left unchecked, can steal the only thing we truly have, this moment. And here's the beautiful part. The goal isn't to stop thinking about tomorrow or to erase yesterday. The goal is balance. Learn from the past, prepare for the future, but don't live in either. Because life has never happened yesterday, and it has never happened tomorrow. Life has always happened now. Ending, the next time your mind whispers, if only, smile. The past has already taught its lesson. The next time it whispers, what if? Take a deep breath. The future hasn't written its story yet. And when you catch yourself standing between yesterday and tomorrow, remember this: the most precious moments of your life will never announce themselves. They won't tell you. This is the memory you'll cherish forever. They simply arrive, disguised as ordinary moments, a conversation, a cup of coffee, a sunset, a laugh with someone you love. Don't miss them, because your mind was too busy living somewhere else. Thank you for watching. If this video changed the way you think about time, share it with someone who spends too much of their life trapped between regret and worry. Because understanding your mind isn't about escaping life, about finally being present enough to truly live it. This is Mind Decoded.